This WAFL Colts broadcast is brought to you by Electrical Group Training. Considering a career as an electrician, visit egt.net.au to start your journey. Amy, when the bounce serves you a clanger, lucky you're with Amy. And Front Row Screens, your local streaming superheroes.
Yes, a very warm welcome to Mineral Resources Park. EGT WAFL Colts action for round 6. It's Perth hosting Claremont. My name is Ethan Roth. It's a pleasure to have your company here on YouTube, the WAFL official YouTube page. Perth 5th on the ladder with a 2-2 record, hosting Claremont, who are 3rd on the ladder with a 4-1 record. They already lost coming out South Fremantle by 4 points back in round 3. So Claremont come into this one firm favourites, you'd have to say. Looking at some of the team changes, 7 ins for Perth, including 3 debutants. Carrie Baker comes in for a debut after 7 futures games. Jeff Durrick comes in for a debut after 5 futures games, and Dylan Poole comes in for a debut after 2 futures games. The other ins, Isaac Giancola, Lachlan Manama, Will Mofert, Max Radica as well. While for Claremont, 1 debutant in the form of Austin McFarlane. So congratulations to him for playing his first Colts game tonight. The other inclusions, Beaton, Binswani, Collins, Floretto, Hams, Huxtable, Parker and Petone here at Mineral Resources Park. Last week, Perth lost comprehensively to East Fremantle by 72 points at the Good Grocer Park, where they only scored 2 goals. They'll be looking to change the tide here. They'll be eager to turn things around. While for Claremont, they had a 21-point win over Swan Districts. They did kick 10 goals, 21 though, so probably could have put Swan Districts away, with all due respect, by a lot more. But a win is a win, and they'll be looking to back it up here to go 5-1. The back-to-back-to-back reigning champs. It is umpire appreciation round as well, so players making their way to the broadcast side to just pay their respects to the umpires, who of course we can't have a game without here at Mineral Resources Park. I mentioned Claremont, the repeaters and the Colts. They've only got 1 premiership player out there from last year, and that's Noah Braun out there, so such is the turnover of Colts footy, and of course PSA and State 18 duties playing a big part of that for both sides in terms of team changes.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, this weekend WA football celebrates Umpire Appreciation Round. Umpire Appreciation Round acknowledges the important role umpires play in our great game. Perth Footy Club, Claremont Football Club, and footy fans across West Australia, we thank our umpires for the contribution they deliver. Please put your hands together for the umpires and players as they shake hands in acknowledgement of the noble roles that both play in football. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen.
So umpire appreciation round. Of course, they do a wonderful job. And coin toss will be won by Perth. They'll kick to the right-hand side of the screen to kickstart proceedings here under lights. Perth and Claremont have both played a few night games, so it's something they're not used to compared to the start of the season, when a lot of these Colts players were having that experience for the first time. Of course, Perth haven't won a Colts premiership this century, 1999, while the opposite for Claremont being super successful, and they're aiming to be first team since the 1990s, which was Claremont, to do the 4-peat in the Colts, which is pretty rare territory. Players just going through their final words. 16 fresh faces to Colts footy in terms of changes from last week. So a lot of players want to prove a point, whether it's form or other duties that they've come back from. Two new coaches as well this year, Aaron Ballantyne and Mark Cossum. Their first year in charge of their respective Colts sides. Both find themselves inside the top 5 at the moment, but of course Perth in particular can be jumped if they aren't coming away with the points today. But the challenges in front of them, the benchmark of this competition over the past few years in Claremont. EGT WAFL Colts live on YouTube. It's Perth hosting Claremont under lights here at Mineral Resources Park. 3 night games for Colts footy, 3 out of the 4 games under lights for round 6, including this one. And we're underway for the first quarter. Perth and Claremont live on YouTube. The 2 rucks go at it. Braun's in the vicinity for Claremont. He was tackled by the Perth player inside 50. Quick clearance. Comes up towards far. Handball out. Grabbing it cleanly there. Kawelka gets the 1-2. Here's South. Workman was asking for it and probably should have got it in the end, holding the ball. Free kick coming the way of Anning. And Claremont looks to transition on the far side. Big fist from behind Edwards, the co-captain, is out there alone in that captaincy role with Gallagher out of the team. Braun called for off a standing step, goes long on left boot, playing in front. Richardson, here's Newry, Freo NGA player who's a live wire to say the least. Blacker. And Perth can get a bit of field possession into the marks taken there by Ketchup, I should say. He kicked one of their 2 goals last week and there's a point to prove after missing out in the state 18s winter squad after being in the summer squad. Perth get the uncontested mark. They beat Claremont in their last outing around 19 at this very ground to keep their finals hopes alive before losing the following week. It did Perth. They were known last year for beating the better sides and dropping ones to teams below them. Of course, new stack of players across the board this year. That mark not quite reeled in by Carls. 2-on-2 around the body. Good smother there by the Tigers. Claremont will pick it up. Hug that boundary line. Stays on the far side. Catch up. Make sure his opponent doesn't get away with anything. Parker on display there. His first game since round 4. Had 22 disposals on debut. Side Parker against his Fremantle. His Braun breaks out of the contest. His experience will be vital tonight in this young Claremont team. So will Newry's. Newry can stroll in. He can sell the dummy, take a bounce, and the State 18's train-on player waltzes in for the first goal of the evening. Damien Newry, who sits equal 5th in the comp for goals coming into tonight, slams through his first, and Claremont hit the lead to start this one. A name to watch out for, Damien Newry. As I mentioned, he's been a train-on for the State 18, so not in the initial squad as a whole, but still part of the program in a train-on sense. Claremont strike first blood here in the opening term. Ball comes down. Braun spending more time inside. He's tackled by South. Long handball comes out the direction of Collins. his first game since round 3. Played all games from round 1 to 3. Braun's getting a stack of it early. Low ball, just dropped the mark. Trying to drag the ball back in. Richardson is pleading his case. The ball came back out, and it's a fierce tackle laid on Anning. That'll be rewarded to Perth. Measured ball was a good one. The South. Ignored options in the corridor. That's touched off the boot from the man on the mark. And then grabbing it was Collins. Goes back to Braun. He's going to be caught his wrong side, but they favoured the handball. And kick comes out there from Pertolano. Newry already kicked one. Gives it off there to Anning, who had 21 disposals last week. He can take a bounce, and just too much off the instep there for Claremont's first behind. They've done all the scoring so far. 1-1-7 lead Perth. Yet to score here. First quarter thanks to EGT. Appreciate your company here on YouTube. We're all Colts and WAFL W games a house in season 2026. That ball was short for Blacker. Draw the opponent. They break out of their 50 with ease to Perth. Warner receives it right into the heart of the ground. A nice mark taken. Sun just playing a part of the far side of the ground here at Mineral Resources Park. On a lead was catch up, but Braun, right place, right time, fills in the hole. Hit 2 goals last week, hit the scoreboard in 2026 in terms of scoring. We'll get the handball receive. Chipping ball well weighted, but Newry was playing from behind, and Blacker takes the intercept mark. Sturch. On the run is South. How's the finish? It never looked likely and just sneaks in for a behind. So Perth on the scoreboard through a behind, and it's one straight kick. The margin at the moment.
I totally agree.
Braun again. Going to cause some headaches, you think, for the majority of the night. Noah Braun for Perth. We'll just switch it up. Measured approach out of their back half. Again, Braun left all by himself. He's already up to 8 disposals. And Doyle cross half back. Anning. They're just controlling the tempo of this one so far, Claremont. And they might look to go here. They've got a bit of space to work with to the middle of the ground. Anning wants it back, holds his ground well. Just a bit too casual there on the approach. The fist came from behind. You could hear the calls of high from the sidelines, and doing enough to just impact it was Dunlop. He'll do the ruck duties along with Jazz Cox. Anning again, starting to get busy. Loretto, playing for the free kick. Umpire wasn't having any of it. Newry impacting further up the ground, brushes through a couple of demons, then gives it off to Braun. Braun had a couple of players bypassing. Loretto called his teammate out of it, and a nicely weighted ball into the path of Tyson Edwards, who doesn't look super confident, but it looks like he's going to go back for his normal set shot routine. So Tyson Edwards. Can't quite convert how he'd like. Running their full measure, the Demons. They want to go in the direction of Darmody, who only could get one hand to it in the end. Far had been Swanee, who assesses his option, goes on the right. Couldn't find the number 46 in Jace Cox. And that's a high free kick coming back the way of Perth, rather Claremont. They don't want to take advantage. Braun up to 10 disposals already. This will be number 11. Can he make it an effective one? Chipping ball. Gives his forwards a chance. They had to play from behind though. Perth, is that a high free kick? Umpire says no. Comes down, hand pass out, Sturch. Had the one arm pinned. Hand pass there from Carls. Newry pushed off the ball. Just hovering on that far side flank. Anning, the intended target, intercepting the Ds, and they hack it out of there for now. They won't have the numbers though, it might come back in that direction. Chipping ball back inside the 50. How about the crumbing though from Hams? Couldn't quite finish. Oscar Hams, his first game since this time last year, a year ago, round 6, 2025. It's been a while between drinks. Colts footy for him. Radica wants it. It's been playing in the PSA. Had 20 disposals for Trinity last week. Ball around the body, a bit of a scrub along the ground there from Christensen. Trovarello's going to pick it up. Sturch, Workman, and with a standing step. Didn't quite get a purchase on it, was Baker. Paul, fellow debutant, trying to impose his presence on the game in his first Colts outing. Christensen doing the ruck work. That ball not going to come out anytime soon. Quick handball out. Christensen will get it back. Then pumps it forward. There's a foot race on. How does it bounce? A couple of players come from different directions. Courageous effort in the air there from Radica. Could have been nasty. Meanwhile, Warner. That ball just intercepted. Workman's there, but Claremont are first to the ball. Through Wibro, who was impressive in the pre-season for Claremont. Ball just staying through Workman now on the left. We know what he can possess over the back. Talk about a foot race. Claremont are going to win it though. Was that a throw in the end? He kept it in. Not sure if it was intentional or not, but whatever works for the Claremont defence, and they break out of jail. Good mark there from Pentoni. First game since round 4. Wibro wants it back at centre half back. Collins. Braun's all by himself. He can take a run on the bounce if he wants. Didn't elect to do that. And that's a great kick. Just a bit too much. Bit of miscommunication between Edwards and Hams there. And umpires are just going to have a chat here to see what the decision will be.
Sorry, mate, can I just get you to move to the side?
And a boundary throw in. If in doubt, that is often the call. Just gone about halfway through this first quarter. Floretto was stripped of it. Collins off a standing step, his kick smothered. Braun on his non-preferred side. Gives it out. Potolano. Big ball, big fly coming. How about the crumbing though? One way than the other. That kick again smothered. Hugging the boundary line of the Tigers. They'll try and get it back into the path of Beaton, who wants the free kick. Perth defence under siege at the moment. Yeah, only 8 points down though. You could argue it should be more, but Claremont are circling off the outside of the boot when Braun recognised he had players in the corridor, and sometimes that's all you have to do when the rest of the opposition are sucked into the contest. You have players staying out, and Pentoni, the beneficiary of that, who takes the uncontested mark. He elects to do the team thing. A bit too much on it though. Christensen around the body to the top of the square. Can Perth just rush it through or survive? They elect to not concede and they hack it out. 1-on-1. Good contest to win for Perth. Intercepting though the Tigers. They have the bypassing player, chipping ball again, just a bit beyond the reach of Edwards, and not the worst result for Claremont. They can take a breath and reset themselves as the ball's locked into their 50. O'Connor gets his palm to it. Edwards just lost it for a moment. Looks like there's a delay off the ball for a moment. Clock continues to run. So we'll reset ourselves on the half-forward flank for Claremont. Hams jumps into the ruck. Trovarello's there, playing second to the footy. A couple of players coming from both directions too. Claremont players collapse in front of each other. Here's Workman, has to take a bounce. They just lost it, but his teammate didn't have it, so it'll come back the way of the D's. Baker on debut. In the direction of Ketchup. Got the handball out just in the nick of time. Bouncing ball far red at best. Hand pass there to McFarlane on debut. And low ball, good for Florado. They want to take the game on, almost basketballing it to himself. Clever stuff there by Far. On a searching lead, was that a push out? You see them paid more often than not, and a bit of a delayed whistle coming back to Claremont. Giltro. And again, guess who? It's Braun who gets another disposal next to his name. Intercepted though with the fist by Blacker. Loretto. Braun ducked the head. He's lost his footing now. Just had to hand pass over his head in hope. Sturch into the middle of the ground. Support coming for the Tigers. Perth player one out though, and he couldn't have done any better when he was outnumbered. Perth, is this an opportunity for them to capitalise? There's a genuine one-on-one, but the defence wins out, and on the nod preferred. Breaking out Joe for now, but Collins is going to have to do something out of nothing, and kept his composure to kick it out to Ben Swanee. That ball's going to be intercepted though. Neither team can hold the mark. Ketchup intercepting, trying to draw the opponent, just went a bit too early, and that'll be Lassoud. So brought back in by Perth. Plenty of supporters staying in here at Mineral Resources Park following the league outing between these two teams. That's a nice mark taken in front by Darmody. Darmody, can he honour one of the leads? He can. Safe chest mark taken by Dylan Poole. Second highest jumper number out there tonight. Dylan Poole, 2 futures games. He's one of 3 debutants tonight, and this would give Perth a lot of confidence, as well as the debutant. He strikes it true. Perth get there first. It's through Dylan Poole, who's playing his first game of Colts footy. We're back in the middle, both teams scoring a goal apiece. 2 points the lead to Claremont. Picking it up. Not sure he got a fist to it. There's Cox. Intercepted by the D's. Over the back. Either team could take the mark. Good agility there from Giancola. Inside 50. It's caught in 2 lines was Wibro going back to Prentice, and that ball can't stay in the field of play, so Darmody will bring it back in. He's probably too far to score. Recognise he wants to centre it to the unmarked player in Baker. Baker in the path there of Workman, and he's been in some sublime form. Zach Workman in recent weeks, highlighted by 22 disposals, 3 goals in a night fixture on Anzac Day a fortnight ago. He's got a beautiful left kick at the best of times. And on that occasion, just sneaks in for a behind. With 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Perth have created more opportunities as the quarter's eventuated though. Noah Braun up to 16 disposals, can you believe it, in this first quarter, and there's still 5 minutes to play. Expect Aaron Valentine, the coaching staff, to put some work into him. Otherwise, he could be on for a record-breaking night, judging by how he started tonight. But here the calls of kick, and Sturch did exactly that. Having plenty of it, did Paul. Here is Workman. Can you get the old 7-point play? Bounce won't be enough to register a score, and again hacking out of there. This time a bit more successful went Prentice. They keep it in. Perth had one arm pinned, and umpire said that you had plenty of time to get rid of it, holding the ball. Doyle will be rewarded. Up and under kick. Good mark. Hams was the only one that really went up in the end. Up towards half forward, just through the hands of Richardson, but did well to keep his composure. Could have been a bit lucky there not to be pinged. Slamming out of there was Dunlop. Good crumbing. They just have to backtrack through Sturch, and then eyes look up further afield. Trying to draw the opponent, but Claremont wall over it. Radica has to hand pass to himself almost. Did Baker. Claremont, can they go one end to the other? Hams just has to stop and prop, as does Edwards. Nice chipping ball into the middle to find Huxtable. They've got a player over the top, and all they have to do is get it to them. And it's Charlie Anning who takes that mark. .21 disposals last week in that win, 21-point win over at Swan District, so more than playing his part. And this will get Claremont's second of the evening if he can convert from directly in front. He'll kick from about 40 metres and just drifts late, so a bit of inaccuracy kicking into this one. I mentioned Claremont scored 10 goals, 21 last week. They did win the game, but they don't want that to creep into tonight's outing. They go to 1-4 and lead Perth by 2 points to a 1-2-8. Sturch. 8 disposals for him now. Radica just stayed out of it. Good crumb there. South, he had a lot of time to work with. On the non-preferred went Baker. He's firing with the handball. Been Swanee. Up and under ball. Courage has to be shown. It is by Jazz Cox. Uncontested mark there for Edwards. Had to change his angles, did Giltro, and Yuri just floats in. He's kicked the only goal for Claremont so far, and he can go back and extend this lead beyond a goal with 1:30 or thereabouts, just under remaining in this opening term. Damien Urey. Can he get his 10th goal of the EGT WAFL Colts season? And more importantly now, say to his teammates, your accuracy can be fixed up by me because I've got both our goals tonight so far. Never in doubt off the boot. It's an 8-point Tiger lead. Wait to see if that's the final say of the opening term, but Damien Urey has both Tiger goals. Be about 20 seconds by the time this ball is thrown up. Can Perth get it back to a single point game? Quick kick out. They don't have to do anything unnecessary. Wibro on the far side wing. Edwards might be too late for another, but nonetheless they'll head into the first break up against Perth here in this EGT WAFL Colts clash for round 6. Damien Urey scored both their goals. Perth fired back after the first through Dylan Poole on debut. But at the first break, it's Claremont leading by 8 points here on YouTube. We'll go to a break and be back for the second quarter of this EGT WAFL Colts matchup live from Mineral Resources Park.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell you.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
Welcome back to Mineral Resources Park, EGT WAFL Colts action. It's Perth trailing Claremont by 8 points at quarter time. Players just setting themselves for the second quarter. Damien Urie kicked both Tiger goals, while Dylan Poole on Colts debut for Perth kicked their single goal. Looking at some of the major possession winners, it's been Noah Braun, 16 disposals in the first quarter. Unbelievable for him. Charlie only up to 9, Fletcher Fire up to 8, while for Perth, Lachlan Manoa leads with 8 disposals, as has Ben Search also with 8. So I'm sure Noah Braun been a name circled by Perth that they have to stop for any chance to come away with the chocolates tonight. Second quarter, all thanks to EGT here on YouTube. Great to have night footy here in Lathlane at Mineral Resources Park. Second quarter, it's Claremont leading by 8 points as they look to go 5-1 this season. Still 3 quarters to play out though, so Perth will fancy themselves as South can't break out of there. Comes down the way of Braun. Chipping ball up towards half forward. Intercepting almost was Radica. Christensen on the non-preferred. Picking it up cleanly. Moffat. Catch up. He can't break out of that whatsoever. Almost handed it to his opponent. The non-officiating umpire in zone deems it as a throw. Christensen wastes no time. Back to Braun. 18 disposals, and that's as good as any of the other previous ones to set up his teammate. Again, looks like Anning to take the kick, who has had a couple of attempts in front of goal. This one from a fair way out. He'll kick right on the 50, or just within. He's called to play on. Charlie Anning, he knew it straight away off the boot. You could hear his voice as soon as it left the boot, and Claremont, a great start to the second quarter for them. Third goal from 6 games this year for Charlie Anning. Making his mark on this Claremont Colts outfit. So 14 points. At the moment it's Anning again who draws the opponent Newry. Braun lowers his eyes. Could have potentially gone for home himself there. Tried to do the team thing. Collins, one way than the other. Gives it out. Can they get a quick goal in succession? They do exactly that. Claremont are on fire here at Mineral Resources Park in a second. Just kept their composure. And it looks to be Parker who had 22 disposals back in round 4 on debut. The players embrace him, and early warning signs if you're Perth to kickstart this second. Back in the middle again. What can Perth reply with? Handball ineffective there from Claremont. Inside 50. Good mark, holding his ground from Spain. Doesn't look overly confident with the set shot, but he might have to go back and try his luck. Just to steady the nerves a bit for Perth. He comes in. Dry Spain, bit of a floater. Just a question of distance in the end as Claremont do enough to knock it through. Chipping ball They'll look to restrict Claremont going from one end to the other. Far wanted it, the handball receive. That was ignored, and it's Braun again, who's coming up for disposal number 20 in just over a quarter. Switching up to this broadcast side, very casual on the approach here, the Tigers. There's Cox. That kick was smothered, maybe a bit too casual in the end. And it's come to this broadcast side, they keep it just in the field of play. Through Putalano. Long down the line. Handball receive came from Baker up towards half forward. Perth outnumbered here. How's the bounce? It might work out okay for Paul. He just has to kick it to his advantage, then pick it up. He was pushed off the ball. Legally at the umpire, and brushing through with ease was Wibro. Claremont just look a class above for the time being. Kick up towards half forward. And intercepting mark there from Perth. Their losses this year, not saying it's obviously getting to that stage right now, but their losses this year, Perth, have been big ones. And giving away a 50-metre penalty there was Hams, but Perth have lost by 72 points and 85 in their 2 losses so far this year. So when they have lost, it's been big, which they'll look to turn around tonight as the 50-metre penalty through Darmody brings them up towards half forward. Inside the 50. No obvious target in sight. Comes down the way of Poole. Can he brush off a couple of Claremont players? He can't. Not the worst result though, as it's locked in for the D's.
Hello.
Slamming it down far.
And we just at work. And we just
Low ball.
Recording the game.
Darmody through his hands. Claremont, great clear. Just sits up for a moment. Hams did well to tap it down. A couple of players slow to their feet. For both teams, Maring inside 50, inside the corridor, I should say, to south, and then Sturch, a bit of a floater. Catch up, had a couple of bites at the cherry, snapping ball, and just to the near side.
So glad the other recording company left because they kept walking into my shots and bumping the camera. Like they almost pulled the tripod around.
Claremont
Talk to Matt
through the
about
corridor,
it.
but it's all Perth taking the mark.
Okay.
Sturch,
See you when you get here. Bye.
and a nice composure, level of composure there shown by Perth. They need a goal just to, as I said, settle the nerves a bit because they've kicked 1 goal for, and the mark taken by O'Connor. Big ruck, it looks like, for Perth. I'd love to get a bit of bang for buck on the scoreboard. So O'Connor looks a pretty good kick. It's gonna get the journey, you'd say. And it's hit the post, maybe. It was touched last line of defence. Playing the goalkeeper role was far. Great success playing in Hales Alco Cup win last year. Ball wanted Huxtable, had to play from behind. Braun made a good effort to get a kick out of that, but just turned it over south. Perth getting in the hands a bit more on the ball in the last couple of passages of play. Sturch should be a mark taken and let themselves down. Here's Braun again. Shepherd applied for him, which gave him a bit of breathing room to run out, take a bounce. Low ball, he's done that a couple of times. A bit too fast there for Edwards, but does well to mob it up. He'll have Braun again, who's, I've said it, but starting to get towards leather poisoning territory. Nice link-up play just inside the field off the boundary line. And that might be 50, so for the one that Perth got, they're giving one away, and this one might be a bit more crucial because it's going to bring them well inside 50, you'd have to say. Edwards to take the kick. This would be a bit of a dagger for Perth, who had the ball in their forward 50 for a little bit and are in that region. But good sides will make you pay, and that's exactly what Claremont have done in an instant. They're starting to run away with this one. And they've tidied up their accuracy from last week at the current stage. They lead by 25. 23, I should say. Back in the middle again. Great roving to himself, shown by Dunlop. And that was touched off the boot. Otherwise, the mark would have been paid there, but Darmody, he protected the space well. Ketchup just lost it for a moment. Quick kick out of there. It's all Perth, though, if they can communicate effectively, which they do. And you see teammates straight away pointing to the goals. Kabelka needs this one. Comes in. Interesting approach. It's not going to register a score. Is it kept in the fit of play? It has been. So Claremont, Prentice pleading his case either for a hold or to say it was over the line. It wasn't to be. And successful snap around the body on the not preferred. They get a bit of bang for buck to Perth. And it's Poole who has another on debut, so he's doing the heavy lifting in terms of scoring in his first Colts outing. He brings it back to 17 points and something for Perth to hang the hat on. Again from the outset, Braun, hand pass over the top. Bertolano. Done well replying. Have Claremont. Just pushed as he kicked it. Demons player. Time to assess the options. Huxtable ran his full measure. Is that a holding free kick coming the way of the Tigers though? Radica can't believe his luck. It's going to be Hams, the recipient. Couple of leads short, ignores that. There's players going back to the goal mount. And he might just try and set it up to the top of the square. Newry's down there. Does he want to fly? He does. Trovarello, quick snap around the body. Can that sneak home? Not quite. This there coming off the boot of Parker, who was looking for a second. First one being a general play at this end of the ground in this quarter. 3 straight kicks separates the sides at the moment. Long ball toward this broadcast, getting a good view. Big fist came there from Pertolano. Outside of the boot, that was a smother. That wasn't a tackle, rather. It was more of a push. So umpire says throw it in. Christensen doing the ruck work. Anning. Newry is just going to be held up potentially a little bit. They run forward. Long handball from Collins. They don't want to muck around with it too much. And off a standing step, Hacking out of there, Baker. Gotta be careful here. Does Whipro to defend off? Umpire said had no prior. Floretto put his head over it. Might be just the required 15 and is, says the umpire. Long inside 50. Mark taken though by Prentice. Looking to change the angles. Is that 50? A bit too much force in the push there, so Derek on debut just giving that one away. No one on the mark, so they can play on through Huxtable. Inside the pocket, but a nice mark taken at a crucial time by Warner, who's off to the races. Floating in though, Claremont. So a bit of back and forth footy in the middle stage of the second. Adding up to 14 disposals himself. Still 10 behind his teammate in Braun. Handball was in hope more than anything in ambitious attempts. Looking at some of the other games, Peel Thunder up by 14 points currently in the first quarter against East Perth and the Colts. While last night, rather earlier today, Swan Districts comfortably won over East Fremantle. A bit of an upset perhaps there by 39. And later game coming up at Sullivan Logistics Stadium between West Perth and Subiaco. So 3 out of the 4 night games this round. Handball came, quick kick there from Floretto. Trovarello potentially had one arm held. Umpire disagreed with that. Daring ball into the middle. Perth players screaming for it. It's just put in the path there nicely to run onto. O'Connor, that kick smothered. Call to play on. Claremont knew that the whole way. Players screaming for it short. Those leads ignored. The lights well and truly taking effect here now at Mineral Resources Park. No choice but to go conventionally down the line. Up towards the half-forward region. Perth have the numbers. Combining was Mofit. Nice ball, but just taking his eyes off at Paul. The only thing he's really done wrong so far tonight, although he did well to keep his composure and get the handball out. Claremont might want the boundary line here. They don't get it, but eventually they do. Taking it over was Bennell. Shallow throw in. Playing for the free kick, Kabelka. Braun. Perth starting to get stuck into him. But Braun's let his footy do the talking to start this one. Would he potentially get to 30 disposals before halftime? We'll wait and see. Here is Braun. Can't rip it out. Bit of push and shove here under lights. Play resumes. Sturch just losing it for a moment. They didn't have it. Trovarello should get it back, and he does. Hugging the boundary line, and a bit too much though, out of bounds on the full. Blacker to do the inbounding duties. Into the corridor. That might be intercepted though. So the scoring's just slowed down a fraction for both teams. Claremont holding possession at the moment. They're 58% in their favour, which tells the story on the scoreboard as well. Ball inside 50. What can they make of this? A couple Perth players go at it. Almost ripped it from each other's grasp in the end. Comes out, quick handball. Sturch dances around his opponent. Hacks it out. Having to do his own roving from his own contest was Giancola. Have to go a long handball back. But this kick's going to be chewed off. Low ball, just hugging the boundary line. They want to bring it back to a more central avenue. Braun screaming for it in the corridor. He had company with him. He might get it back though. Braun, did he cop a push? He did. And Noah Braun will have an opportunity to go back. Lets his direct opponent know about it as well. So Noah Braun, does he have the journey in him from long range? Some would say unlucky to not make the state 18s. This will be his 25th disposal, and we're not even at half time. He runs out. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's had 25 disposals and kicked a goal, and we're not at half time. He's brought his own footy tonight. Well, he is causing so many headaches at the moment, Noah Braun. It just got the journey in the end. Thought Christensen might have interrupted his good work there, but it cleared the line. And 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes 30 remaining in this opening half. 24 points to Claremont, and they're not done just yet. You'd say another clearance coming, dominating from the centre square tonight. They get another inside 50. Perth defence wanting to hold up. Newry in there. Comes out. Manama. One Demon against 3 Tigers as the cavalry arrived for Perth, and Demons play did well there to just hold it in, considering players against him. That was Spain. Darmody. Claremont player putting their head over it. Yeah, the calls of holding it in, but umpire saying it's going to come back to bite you. Kabelka on the end of it. Giltro. Inside 50. Great crumbing there. Had Demon with him the whole way. Can they keep it in? They can't. Sitting underneath it, Hams. Edwards. He made his case pretty clear, and great mark flying over the top there from the player who sent it in Huxtable in the first place. His first game since round 4 where he kicked the goal and had 16 disposals against East Fremantle. South Fremantle the week before that. Well, they lost, but they beat East Fremantle by 1 point in a heart stopper. Just to put a pretty good exclamation mark, you'd say, on what's been a dominant first half by the Tigers. Huxtable comes in, and that always arcing out to the right. Can't register a score. It's been hard to fault Claremont otherwise in this opening half. Having said that, 4 goals can be cut down for Perth if they can come out in the third quarter. What can they make out of this last minute? Workman Sturch plays on. Right up to the other side. Again, Claremont well positioned. Baker combines there with Manama and Ketchup. Chiseling ball, a bit too much on it in the end. Once that player had a shot at the other end. In Huxtable, Mark deemed Parker. Can they get one last score here? Edwards pumps it in the Newry direction. He stayed down again. Hams tackled, and likewise a tackle there from Giltro. That'll pretty much be it for this opening half. It will be. So Perth on the back foot at half time. They trail 2-5-17 to Claremont's 6-5-41. It's been Noah Braun who's dominated with 25 disposals and a goal, and maybe a number of how many he can get to, but of course he'll have the team in mind. And Claremont at the moment going with a 4-goal lead at half time here at Mineral Resources Park. It's EGT WAFL Colts action for round 6. Players will have a break. We'll do the same in the commentary position to be back for the second half very shortly, live from Mineral Resources Park with the Claremont Football Club leading by 4 straight goals.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Oh, don't tell me.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Running through the last of my thoughts, standing on the edge of my time. Everything I know will be gone in a minute, and that's alright. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Alright, 'cause I'm free. I'm freer than I've ever been before. Yeah, baby, I'm free.
So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out cause you kept cutting the cord, and I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a day. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell if you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Waiting for a touch, you say no day. Nothing could really take your place. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Waiting for a touch, you say no day. Nothing could really take your place.
Park, second half underway between Perth and Claremont. It's Claremont by 4 goals as they look to extend their lead and win their 5th game of this EGT WAFL Colts season. Round 6, mark taken from the outset by Anning, who's up to 18 disposals now. It's been their starts that have been really impressive to both quarters so far. Good mark there taken by Radica. What can Perth bring in this second half? Mofit. Just through the hands of the intended target. Handball came out from McFarlane. A long goal. How does the bounce sit? It's all Claremont at the moment. A long range goal. Continue where they left off. To be Kai Collins on the end of that one in his first game several weeks. Round 3 he last played. And Claremont not showing any signs of complacency to start this second half. Winning it out there, Jas Cox, and a good mark taken by Christensen. And they get another on a searching lead. Good mark taken out in front. Hams is on the end of it. Claremont just linking up from their middle part of the ground tremendously at the moment. So Hams comes in. Their accuracy has been hard to fault, but on that occasion, another behind, or their first behind of the first half of the second half. "31 points the deficit. 24 at the main break. Clearing ball. Flying Radica, making his presence known in that contest. Just a bit beyond the reach there of Wibro. Middle of the ground, cutting it off there, Warner. Sturch, can he grab it cleanly, have a shot on goal? Has to wait just for a moment. He might try and set it up into the forward pocket. It was sort of an in-between quick kick in the end. Smothered off the boot. Otherwise, the man on debut in Poole could have had his third there. Big fist out, Braun. Off the instep, that's just going to hover and be tapped out by Dunlop. Ball thrown in. Over the head of Braun, Workman. Off a standing step, the D's. Good mark taken in front position from O'Connor. Wants that man in Poole. Braun. Expect him to clear it out. He does. Just pulled it to try and get it more corridor side. Workman picks up cleanly. The fend off was brilliant. Manama. The handball, Workman, can he fend off again? Couldn't do it as effectively. Newry gets back to help out. And they break out of congestion, Claremont. Edwards takes a bounce. Has a couple of Tigers if they can communicate. Anning showing his aerial capabilities. Floretto has to be careful. He's hunted down. It was a bit too casual on the approach. Didn't realise he had less time than he did, and a great tackle there from Spain. Holding the ball, free kick. That's what Perth need more of it when they're not versed to the footy. And a couple of link-up plays. Right up towards the centre-half forward position. Good mark taken from Ben Swanee. They want to draw the opponent far, running out of full back. Has to be careful. Paul was with him the whole way. Gets the ball back when he's on the ground. Perth players pleading for holding the ball, saying he dragged it in. Umpire disagrees. Comes down Sturch. Loretto first to a hand pass over the top, and Doyle can take a run on the bounce. Ran his full measure. Chipping ball. That's not going to favour Claremont whatsoever. Manama, who 31 disposals, round one of the PSA, 22 last week, coming back from duties at Trinity. Up to 13 disposals now. Taking the safe chest mark there is Darmody. A couple of players going back with the flight, far. Sitting underneath it. No Pryor. Going to get the handball. Braun's going to be on the end of it. Possession 28. Can he set it up to the top of the square? Right place, right time. Easy snap on goal that's missed there by Beaton. He'd like that all over again. The second game up. Darmody, that position where he took the last mark. Gonna probably be forced to kick down the line, but he's not. Manama. He might have to come to this broadcast side. That's where most of the players are. Far. Impacting. Wibro. Collins. Back in the direction that it came from. Touched off the boot. Manama is coming across the face of goal. Carls is called to play on. Interesting decision. Must have been touched off the boot. Manama just keeps it in the field of play for Darmody, who's owning that back pocket for the time being. That'll be 50 though, as Edwards just overstepped the mark. Bit too much though. Far takes the mark. And that mark just taken. Will that be 50? Not quite. Loretto lowers his eyes. That's that player who gave away the 50, Edwards, who luckily didn't come back to bite him. A couple players fly south. Big contest. Loretto had a good piece of it. Anning. Loretto, here's a chance to capitalise. Bit of a floater and playing the goalkeeper on the last line of defence. Darmody holding them up well at the moment. That's a precise kick to Sturch. Sturch wants to draw the opponent, give it to Darmody, but Claremont war over the whole time. It comes back his way. Ketchup has to go back with the flight. It's not his best kick, although where's the mark taken? The umpire can't decide and says, I'll have it off both sets of hands, the umpire said. Christensen lost it. Anning kept it in the field of play. Wants to go to Braun. Good periphery vision there to give it back to Floretto. Just knocked as he kicked it. Didn't really impact it too much. Is that a high free kick? Umpire says no. Watch Braun and Workman go head to head here in this contest. Newry is going to have to go up in the ruck. Braun Gave it off Loretto. They've combined a couple of times this quarter. Outside of the boot to the top of the square. Fist came. Edwards. Claremont have the numbers. Can they hack this through? Just losing it was Hams, and incorrect disposal. So Perth live to breathe another day just for now. We're on up to 30 disposals. That ball's not going to stay in the field of play. Out of bounds on the full. Been Swanee pointing long. Couple players fly. Miscommunication there between Perth. Around the corner went Maring. Back into a similar direction. Came a great mark taken though. Didn't take his eyes off it, did Wibro. Looks centrally. Hams the intended target. Did he get it? Clear run and jump it at Newry. Crumbing dangerously. Would this be a turnover? Edwards. Can he spin it out? Braun around the corner. Noah Braun. Absolute leather poisoning at the moment. He's kicked two. He's had 31 disposals and there's 13 minutes remaining in the third quarter. A point to prove perhaps for Noah Braun, the State 18 selectors. This is a performance and a half. Could be a question of how much he ends up with. But for Claremont's sake, they break away even more in front of the lead. Palm down, Workman. Clearance to his name. Bouncing ball. Running onto the end of it, it's Bennell. Can he get a boot to ball? Went to go to the assist of Poole. And it's wrapped up inside 50 for Perth. Can't keep it in. Ball just beating Prentice there. Quick kick, that won't be 15 metres. Braun can assess his options. Takes a bounce. Just goes short to Ben Swanee. He'll get it back here, Noah Braun, on the non-preferred, but you wouldn't know it with the amount of purchase he got on that. Newry through his hands. And holding free kick coming the way of O'Connor. Battled hard tonight in the ruck, not an easy task for him. Paul had a good run and jump at it. Handball out. It's having to circle Collins. Goes back to guess who, Braun again, who backtracks. That kick impacted. On the right again, like he did moments before. Intercepted though by Perth. Run on the jump on the second attempt, Collins. His players screaming for it all over the ground. Long down the line. Radica. Couldn't quite stick the mark. Might work out okay there for Perth. O'Connor takes the mark. Sturch is free. Had Manama bypassing him, but was just a bit too fast for his liking. Inside 50. Again, they just can't quite get that synergy between mid and forward at the moment, the D's. Good mark taken by Bin Swanee, who's having a good outing himself. Anning, and amongst the Tigers' best. 22 disposals in the goal to match. Edwards, skipper, co-captain, but Gallagher's out of the side tonight, meaning he does the sole captaincy duties. Low ball was a good one. Huxtable. Again, plays fell over the ground. The direct opponent there of Edwards fell behind him, which meant he could run on, try to square it up to Pentoni, but Manama had different ideas in mind. Didn't have it potentially. Umpire saying clear it right out, so seemingly Claremont's game to lose at the moment. Still a while to go, but they're clearly in the box seat. Good mark taken, Radica. Deep in the back 50. Called to play on. Had to hack it out of there in a flash through the hands of Dunlop. One way then the other went Huxtable. Anning. Loretto lowers his eyes because it could have gone longer. Through the legs there of Trovarello. Diving on top of it, making that super obvious was Blacker, but umpire said there was enough pressure to deem it the regular boundary throw in. Warner out of the back half, attacking it. Players from both ends. One arm pinned there by Pertolono. But again, Claremont just set up so well. Prentice, the last line of defence. Big fly there from South. He was outnumbered. Eventually support came. Demons win out this contest. Sturch has maybe a bit more time than he realised, but also recognises that a man on debut who's called to play on, you feel for him there. That man being the debutant in pool, seemingly looked to reel it in with one hand, but umpire said it must have touched the ground. So a lot going right for Perth, and sometimes that can happen when your back's to the wall. Those 50-50 calls can go against you. And ball will be thrown up on the far side. Trying to rip it out of there from the grass. Christensen of Dunlop paddling it to their advantage through Giltro, and that ball not coming out. Umpire says boundary throw in. Christensen, that borderline dangerous tackle, sometimes see those be paid not to be. Calm down, Sturch, worked hard tonight. Wibro, again, combining over the back. First to it, beaten. Didn't have to paddle it onto his teammate. Trying to rip it out of there, Maring. Warner. There's a one-on-one. Collins, the smaller body. It didn't matter though. Loretto. Anning. Wasn't too eager to kick it. So 5 minutes just over remaining in the third term. It's been all Claremont. Perth have yet to score anything in this third quarter. It's at the wrong end as well for them. Christensen rips it out. They shepherd this through. Bounce. Couldn't quite work back in time. Out of the back half, Manama. 22 disposals to his name. Looks corridor to south. Big fist from behind. Tigers. Long handball came from O'Connor. Just losing it. Almost Kabelka kept his composure on the left now. Inside 50. Pull. And far. You go back to go forward. Prentice. Swanee been impressive tonight. Multiple fronts. Mark taken in the air. One-on-one. Hams doing battle with Radica. Both players go to ground. Umpire says, I'll have it. Can't be split. Noah Braun just come back on the ground. He's up to 35. Disposals, could he get maybe towards the 50 mark? We'll have to wait and see. Kicked a couple of goals to match as well. Here he is again. Just lost it for a moment. Going to come back in that direction though. Just drifting forward, and on the second attempt, mark taken by Maring. D's a bit eager for three-quarter time to roll around, but still got to deal with another whole quarter of footy. Darmley strong in the air. Playing in front, the Tigers. Braun was tempted to go. Just up towards the wing. Couldn't quite spot his target, so not to say it's a total mistake, but efficiency's been good otherwise for Noah Braun. That ball just touched before going out, so boundary throw in the result. Double tap, big fist. Kabelka was be keen to bring it back this way. Just momentarily going to stand the half-forward flank. Trovarello, fierce tackle. Tap attempt from Beaton. Just goes inside 50. Workman, lucky not to be caught there. Sturch keeps it in, but doing enough to tap it out. They get around the defence there of McFarlane on debut. Held his own tonight. For under a couple of minutes remaining. Perth, as I said, haven't scored anything in this quarter. 2 goals to Claremont's name so far. Catch up. Just 2 goals last week as well for Perth, so I'm wanting to add more tonight. Even if they can't win the game, just a bit of consolation. Braun knows it's not long, so he just goes for the big torpedo down the ground. Flying was Hams, through his hands. Trovarello playing the crumbing role. Garrett, Ham. And Sturch combined. Smother off the boot. Composure for Claremont on full display, although that's just through the heads of the skipper and Edwards' grasp. 30 seconds in this third to play. Wibro was more worried about the body there than the ball. And Claremont may be the only ones that can score to close out the third. Workman, man him up. And 3/4 time here at Mineral Resources Park. Claremont restrict Perth to no score in the 3rd quarter. And they're comprehensively on their way to their 5th win of the season. They lead 8-8, 56 to 2-5, 17. Noah Braun at 3/4 time is up to 37 disposals and 2 goals. So it's a matter of how many can he end up with. Say he'd likely to get over that 40 mark if he spends time on the ground in this last quarter. We're back for the 4th and final term. Claremont, they're piling on the pain here to Perth. With a quarter to play, wait to see what happens in the final 25 minutes of footy right after this. EGT WAFL Colts action under lights from Mineral Resources Park, live with the 4th term right after this.
Hey mates, ready to power up your career with EGT? As a proud sponsor of the WAFL, we're all about teamwork and training winners. With EGT, our apprenticeships in electrical trades are hands-on, so you can start working and earning faster, so you can forget the debt and dive straight into earning. Join us today and get the best of both worlds. Great training with the thrill of the game. Don't just dream about success, wire it up with EGT. Visit egt.net.au and kickstart your career.
They could have made it round.
Let's have a ball.
Instead, they made a swinging pendulum of luck.
Let's have a dance. We'll do the rock. We'll do the ball. Let's have a ball. Don't tell me if you do.
When the bounce serves you a clanger,
Lucky you're with Amy.
So now you're here again, knocking at my door. A little too late for, I'm sorry for. The lights went out cause you kept cutting the cord. And I started to fade into your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away. I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. I waited for you in the passenger seat. There's only so far I can ride in your dreams. While you were chasing everything else but me, I'm starting to break out from your gray. See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away. I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. I'm not backing down, 'cause the future is now. Not backing down, 'cause the future is now. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire is stolen away. I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. The future is now.
Welcome back to Mineral Resources Park. Three-quarter time here between Perth and Claremont. Claremont putting on an onslaught at the moment. 8-8-56 to lead Perth. 2-5-17 and restricting Perth to no score in that third quarter. And it is the Noah Braun show at the moment. 37 disposals, 2 goals the quarter to play. Lachlan Manham up to 27 disposals for Perth, while Charlie Anning has 25 and a goal next to his name with a quarter to play. Goal kickers Braun with 2, Newry with 2 to kickstart the game. Dylan Paul and David with 2, the only multiple goal kicker for Perth, and their only goal kicker, in fact, as a whole. So, final 25 minutes of footy coming up. EGT WAFL Colts, round 6, of course. These two sides have a bye next week with the state game bye taking place across the competition. So, Claremont seemingly going to run away with this one. We see what Perth have up in store for this last quarter. Handball out. Loretto just has to hold it in. Anning. Fierce tackle. Ball spills out. They break clear. Claremont looking for their first of the last quarter and their 9th overall. Newry stayed down. Got a hand in there. Trying to rip it out. Radica. He has no choice but to keep it in. Comes down Workman, he's wrapped up. And Hams can't get it out as well. Sturch, can he get a boot to ball? Braun had to go back. Off a standing step around the body. Can someone take a mark for Perth? Bit of a push out perhaps. Got a fair piece of it. South. Edwards. It's his footing. And Darmley breaks it out and good mark taken. Wasn't really intended, I don't think, but sometimes it's all you have to do for Perth. Wonder what was said at three-quarter time. So they look to gain some positivity out of this final term. Started the game pretty well, actually. They led way back at the start. It's been all Claremont pretty much since the opening anyway. They get an inside 50. Bart has more than done his role tonight. Good mark taken. Braun again. He's been everywhere and he's keen to play on. He's going to have to be called back onto his line, which he seems like he knew that. No complaints there. This will be number 39. Does he want it back again? Sold the dummy there, his teammate. Low ball. And a good mark taken by Edwards. Doesn't look super confident on the approach. There's a couple of Tigers that are out of mid-air, and that'll be a mark paid. Having to hold the ground there for Solano. Inside 50, where are the Crummers for Claremont? Comes out. Just lost it for a moment. Loretto. No ball. Perth around the body, but Claremont are well set up. And whistle player just in the fit of play who's injured, so hopefully they're okay. Player will just be stopped. Clock will continue to run. Could be a little bit of a process here. Slow to the ground. So we'll get ready to resume play here. Up towards centre half forward. Kick smothered. Newry. Here is Braun. There is number 40. He might get it back again. They tried to, but Sturch stood in the way. The Copper High free kick, holding free kick, coming his way. And apologies if we're counting every disposal from here on in, but this will be number 41. Just the required 15. Push out. For Claremont, a lot going their right tonight. And looks pretty slow there with the arm. Should be okay to take the kick. In Christensen to take it. He knew it straight away off the boot. Claremont are going to march to a comprehensive victory. We already knew it before that, but a bit more pain for Perth to have to swallow. He adds his name to the score sheet. And Sting has gone out this for Perth, but can't fault Claremont. It's why they've been the benchmark for so many years, the three-time reigning premiers. New coach, Mark Cossum, so there is a new fingerprint on this team tonight. Of course, Noah Braun as well, the only premiership player out there from last year, so it is a very turned over list as well. PSA duty state 18s having a bit to play of that. Jen Kohler, quick kick out of the clearance. Half sort of flying for that Bertolano, wasn't super convinced that it was his, shrugging off the deck. Perth trying to fight this one out. Catch up, nice handball. Workman on the run. They've often gone to him when he's needed to, when they've needed to fire, and they do. They break their streak of not scoring since the second term. On the run. We've seen that before this year from Work when he's kicked a goal to match 18 disposals. He can hold his head high with his efforts again tonight. Braun on the end of it. Just lost it. Bounce didn't suit him too kind. Smother there from that man. Rips it out. He's been best on ground by a length and a half tonight. Started the game on fire and has continued since. Contest coming down. Christensen, can he kick 2 goals in the quarter? Punches the air, salutes the sidelines, and Christensen becomes a multiple goal kick here at Mineral Resources Park under lights. Again, Braun first to it. He's stripped of it though. Well done there by Kabalka. Left foot kick. And goes out of bounds. So they beat their score last week against East Fremantle Perth. Still a bit of time to add to that. 14 minutes just over. This quarter left in the game. Palms down. No breaking clear of that. Big thumping kick. Braun, that'll be a high free kick to his name. 43 for him. Disposals, just lightly. It's a well executed kick in the end to far. Good mark, intercepted though. Warner, he's had some nice moments tonight in the back half. Sturch. 25th disposal for him. Looks pretty confident with the approach here to go back and have a crack. It's well into the centre square. He'll come just out of it for the set shot. Might just be a setup in the end. Big fist trying to break through. And showing that he is making a genuine attempt as the debutant in pool. Might not be the greatest debut to remember in terms of team performance, but certainly from an individual standpoint, he's shown that he's up to the level. He rips it out of there. Can he get boot to ball? He could. Just fall short of an out of bounds on the full. Palm down, catch up. Big tap out. Not the required 15, another tap forward. South can't break through. To Braun. Just assesses his options. Off a standing step, good kick out. It's going to be a boundary throw in though. No doubt, plenty of attention is going to come to Noah Braun in terms of publicity for this display. Of course, he often gets the son of a gun tag, son of Michael Braun West Coast Eagles Premiership player of 2006, but starting to make a name for himself and holding the ball for a kick to his teammate. Short mark taken by Pantoni. Unlucky not to be paid the mark, Giancola. Trovarello has the one-arm pin, so luckily got the ball out. Just through the hands there, or the path of Maring. Forward hand pass from Beaton. Put his teammate under all sorts of pressure. Big palm out. It's all glory ahead though for Collins, but he does the team thing, pulls his kick late, and honestly, Christensen, who's starting to make this fourth quarter his own. And he's unfortunately made a bit of an error in front of goal there, so showing that he is human. Perth eager to bring it out to this broadcast side. Big pack of players. Good mark there taken. And Tony. No one really on the mark, so that allowed him to run clear. Diving on top of it, the ball does come out. Corello, why wouldn't you give it to Braun, or furthermore, hit up another target in the form of Edwards. Tyson Edwards, this is. Kicked one goal tonight. Disposal number 8. And it just drifts towards the left-hand side. So the margin 47. Perth bring it out to a similar position that they did before. Collins just hugging the boundary line. Slung a 360. Would have been caught there if the boundary line wasn't in sight. Ball thrown in. Was that a push out? Christensen may have gotten away with one there. Giancola. Ball snapped around the body. And Perth have the numbers. Trovarello just letting Manamanoa, rather Darmody, 52. Big fist. Loretto, Christensen working up the ground. Gives away the free kick that time. Good mark taken on the second attempt by Prentice. Huxtable. They've got numbers here, the Tigers, if they want to move the ball quickly. Anning screaming for it. No one target really in sight. Snapping ball around the body. It's party time now for Claremont. And this is another. Parker kicks his second. Claremont making a real statement here on the road at Mineral Resources Park. Well, you feel for Perth when you know the result's out of your hands for a fair while. They have to close this one out, though. Still 6.5 minutes remaining, but it's been in the bank for Claremont's sake ever since the second half really began. Braun's going to get another one here, showing his capabilities. He might get it back as well. 47 disposals for Noah Braun. He's assisting his teammates as well. Claremont cannot put a foot wrong. Again, he's going to get it. He could be up to 50 here. Noah Braun, 48 disposals and another assist perhaps. Edwards just beyond his grasp in these last 5 minutes. Probably going to keep a close eye on Noah Braun if we haven't already tonight. He in the field of play here. Workman picks it up. I don't know the last player that had 48 disposals in the Colts. It'd be interesting to see what the record would be. If there's any data of that out there. A couple of players from Claremont just miscommunicate. And if he doesn't get 3 votes tonight, I'd be very, very surprised from the umps. Umpire appreciation round, of course. We appreciate what they do. Here is Braun, 49. He's up to 49 disposals. Can he get one more in the last 4 minutes? Would be an almighty effort from the Claremont number 4, and I wonder if he has a feeling about it as well, potentially at the break, if anyone went to him and said, you're up to 37, which was what he was at the third change. Mark taken. His teammates continue on with it. Edwards looking to put his own standpoint on it. Hits the post. Gets the margin out to exactly 60 though. Clearing ball. Perth from one end to the other. Can they get a late consolation prize? Good fly there. Bennell. Clearing ball. Running that full measure, the Tigers. Ball stays in. Warner. Gonna hug the boundary line. Darmody. Turnover perhaps. Around the corner. Couple of players. Impact. Comes down the way of Baker. Chipping ball. Through the hands of Ketchup. He'd like that moment again. And here we go. According to the stats, 50 disposals for Noah Braun. It is an all-time performance in WAFL Colts. He has had 50 disposals. It's unbelievable. If these stats are correct, which WAFL app, there's no more official than that. So, and he'll get it back here just to make sure of it. 51 disposals coming up for Noah Braun. It is an unbelievable feat, considering the quarters are 25 minutes and no more than that in Colts footy. And he might just get another one here. It's a feat that will get the state 18s question marks again from his sake. If he could be a late inclusion, of course, they tend to leave spots open, and Claremont get it into the hands of another forward. 52 confirming that as it stands for Braun. Just to make it 66 points. Not going to score in the end. Comes down to Edwards. Spins out. The skipper for the Tigers puts the absolute icing on the cake. They couldn't have been any more dominant in this second half, you'd have to say. So 20 seconds remaining. It's been a truly dominant performance from Claremont. Workman just dropped that. He's up to 19 disposals and a goal. Fortunately, couldn't have the same impact in terms of the impact that that's having on the team. Claremont through Noah Braun. Comfortable victors in the end. He ends up with 52 disposals and 2 goals. And best on ground by an absolute mile. Charlie Anning with 30 disposals, the next best. He kicked a goal. Lachlan Manamar for Perth with the most disposals, 29. Ben Sturch, 26 as well. Goal kickers, Regan Christensen kicked 2. Xavier Parker 2. Noah Braun 2 with 52. Lazy possessions. Damien Urie 2 to kickstart the game. Dylan Paul on debut. The only multiple goal kicker for Perth. 2 out of their 3 goals. Edwards a goal. Anning a goal for Claremont. Also beaten Collins. Cooper Edwards the captain and Zach Workman the other for Perth. Looking ahead to the next game, of course, state bye for these two teams next week. But Claremont have East Perth after that on the 23rd of May back at home. River Fitness Stadium, while Perth will be back here as well on Friday night, the 22nd of May, 6:30 p.m. against the Falcons. The players shake hands, but Claremont just showing why they're a class above and why they've won the last 3 premierships, even if they had the singular player who was in the premiership last year, Noah Braun, who has broken records, no doubt, tonight to have 52 disposals and 2 goals. My name's Ethan Roth. It's been a pleasure to give you all the company on a record-breaking night for Noah Braun and the Claremont Football Club. They marched to 5-1 on the ladder and proved why they are the benchmark of this competition. Saying a very goodbye on behalf of all of our team from Mineral Resources Park. Claremont, comfortable victors, live from Mineral Resources Park. It's been a pleasure to call this game live on YouTube. We'll see you next time.